It's okay. You can admit it. You've researched flat Earth, haven't you? And you probably saw something that looked like that, or maybe something ridiculous like that, and you thought, there's no way people could actually believe the Earth is flat. I mean, look, you could literally just fall off the edge. How ridiculous. And then your research may have even proven to you even more how ridiculous it is when you would see that if we had a flat Earth, well, lunar eclipses will look like that, and you just confirmed how stupid you thought it was. I mean, come on. We've all seen that there's a round shadow on the moon that can only be caused by a round globular Earth, right? You know, the rounded eclipse, because the Earth is round, we can see the round shadow, kind of like I'm doing here with this volleyball. You can see a round shadow. Well, do you want to see how I created that round shadow? With a big, square, flat picture frame. How interesting. No, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that the Earth is a flat picture frame. No, I'm just saying maybe things that you think are proofs aren't. You've just been told they are. Like sunsets, you've been told you can only see half of the sun because it's going beyond the curve of the Earth. You sure that's the only explanation? You sure there's not something else going on? Maybe like, I don't know, humidity, and you can't see through miles and miles and miles of atmosphere, but under the right conditions, you can zoom in and see that the sun is still very high in the sky. It only appears to go down because as something goes further away, as in perspective, it gets lower in your field of vision. And again, under the right conditions, you can see that the sun doesn't go down. It fades away into the distance because it's local and it's moving across our sky. And with low humidity, you can see that it shrinks off into the distance. It's taking up both lines, and then by the end, it's a tiny little dot, moving further and further and further and lower and lower and lower until the atmosphere is so thick you can't see through it. You can't see headlights on a foggy day a mile away. You can't zoom in through fog, just like you can't zoom in through atmosphere. So people that say you should be able to see the sun at all times if it was local, well, no, there's atmosphere and humidity, and it gets denser and denser with miles and miles. You see, you've been told the sun is 93 million miles away, but would it change size that much just from the Earth rotating? And would it have amazing anti-crepuscular rays that you can triangulate back to the local source? And if the water were curving here, would the sun reflect in a straight line all the way to my feet? Because the way light reflects on a ball is always to gather it to a single spot. And if we lived on a ball spinning 1,000 miles per hour, then why, when water is at rest, does it always lay perfectly flat, seeking its level? Does this ball need to be spinning 1,000 miles per hour for it to stick to it, or would it all fly off? And if it's gravity, you say, well, why is gravity so strong that it can hold trillions of pounds of water and giant boats to the ground, but it can't hold a helium balloon or simple smoke from a fire? And why, if I'm in water, do I sink like a rock, but if I take a big old breath, I can float a little easier? And maybe I'm just increasing my buoyancy? And anything else not covered by density and buoyancy is because we're all electrical beings. Everything around us is positively charged. And the Earth is a big old grounding station. It's why it's called grounding when you stand on it barefoot. It's density, buoyancy, and electrostatics. But you've seen the Earth curve, right? Like when you look out into the distance, you can see it curve. Well, how come that doesn't happen when you look side to side? Maybe something else is going on again. I mean, they tell us it's the Earth curve. You can only see 3 miles because of the Earth curves away, hiding the surface. Well, if that's true, why have I zoomed in on Chicago across Lake Michigan from 53 miles away? There should be 1,800 feet of obscured curvature because of the Earth's roundedness. Well, I saw it plain as day. That's 1,400 feet tall. That's the Willis Tower. And at a distance of 53 miles, like I was, there should be 1,800 feet of curvature. Remember, the Willis Tower is 1,451 feet tall, and this isn't some flat Earth calculator. No, it's the Earth curvature calculator. This is what NASA would use, aka not a space agency. Now, getting back to the beginning, yeah, you may have looked this up. And do you ever think maybe that the internet was trying to make you think it was dumb? I mean, I even spent 2 hours watching a Netflix documentary and I thought it was the stupidest thing ever after. And then I realized that, again, the internet and Netflix was trying to make me think it was dumb. Again, trying to make you think it's dumb. And I'll be the first to admit it worked on me. It worked on me for probably a year before I had some things happen that opened my mind. Opened my mind to the fact that maybe I've been lied to more than I realized. Maybe I'm not too smart to have been fooled my whole life. For me, that aha moment that got me to put down my ego was figuring out that stars weren't what I had been told my entire life. Does that really look like a burning ball of gas to you quintillions of miles away? You still think you can see that far? Aw, that's adorable. And well, if you've made it this far, you're probably asking yourself now, why? Why would they lie and tell us we live on a globe? What would be the point? A globe that just happens to have copy and paste clouds on it, by the way. Well, if they can convince you live here, that was the picture that was on all of our iPhones, propagandizing our brain, by the way. Yeah, if they can convince you live on one of these, which, by the way, are all NASA photos, they all look very, very different. But if they can convince you live there and you evolved from a monkey and happened from a big bang, well, then it takes away the true nature of this spiritual realm we live in. And they can control your mind and they can hide things from you that you would never even begin to consider could happen because of where we truly live. And who created this beautiful little earthly realm we live in? The Heavenly Father, the Most High. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I'm sure those NASA photos all just look so different because the lighting was different from the 93 million mile away sun, and the colors were different because the Earth just felt a little more blue on that day. Entertainment only, people.